Fire away.
Talking to Cedar Quick yesterday, he said he's noticed a real difference in his skating. That was a point of emphasis for him in the summer. Have you really noticed that difference, and what led him to be the guy that you wanted to see next to Savoy and Benson?
Well, so the skating, yeah, when we have exit meetings with our players, our goal is to give them a path and a direction and a focus to get better in the summer, not just get stronger. Right? Let's be specific. We talked about that with Jack Quinn a couple years ago. He needed to work on his lateral skating. He needed to work on his shot. And with players with the work ethic of Cedarquist, if you point them in the right direction, they go attack it. And it's really impressive how he looks right now with a short summer because we played so late. So that's the skating part, and it is noticeable. Why we put him with them, I just think that he's had a year, so he has a little experience. He's strong. He wins puck battles at a really high rate, and he provides something different for them. As talented as players can be, if they don't have the puck, they can't show their talent, right? So Cedarquist on that line is a guy that can help that line get the puck a lot. And then when those two get the puck, then they get to display their offensive ability.
Even with the unfortunate timing of the injuries he dealt with last year, how would you see him take another step into growing into that power forward role that he's taken up the last few years?
Yeah, we think that his trajectory is very strong right now. We don't care about birth year, right? Because some people hit their spot at 19 or 20, and some people might be 25. He's a player that was a late draft that had to work hard to get a contract, had a really good last year in the SHL, earned that contract, then came over. What I like about him is we all think he had a really good rookie year in Rochester, and he doesn't. And that shows what he thinks of himself, how competitive he is, and the standard that he holds himself to. And so those things inside of you, that inner drive and that determination, he's a guy that's been overlooked a lot in his career and his life. And so he has that little chip that drives him.
What is the direction of the focus you'll give the players for these 3 games? What are you looking for from them, and what is the message you'll have for them?
Well, in practice, we've tried to give them enough, not too much, enough that we don't look like a shinny hockey team out there, right? So have enough structure where we look organized, because if we're organized enough, they get to then show how talented they are. If we're disorganized and sloppy, they're not going to be able to show their abilities. So that's what practice was for. Tonight, the message will be compete and play fast, okay? And there's different ways to compete. Zach Benson's going to compete by lifting your stick and stripping you from behind and hunting pucks like that. Medema might show his compete by running a guy through the wall, right? Everybody's got their own ways to compete. Yuri Kulik competes to score goals. Like, he loves to score. Like, that's competitive. People think of competitiveness as just physical competitiveness, but there's a lot of ways to show it. We want our guys to show how high their compete is in their own way. We want them to play fast, and playing fast is not how fast we skate, it's how fast we think. Knowing the play you want to make before you get it. In junior hockey and in college hockey, these guys that are so talented can play one-on-one because they're better than a lot of the people they're against. In pro, one-on-one hockey doesn't work very good. So playing fast is creating two-on-ones all over the ice, sharing the puck, and letting the puck play fast for us. So compete, play fast is a big message organizationally, and then have fun. It's a game. It's supposed to be fun. Hockey's we all started in this because we love the sport. So compete, play fast, and have fun will be my message for tonight.
You didn't stop the drill yesterday, 3-on-3. You weren't scoring enough goals. How difficult is it to get that pace ramped up in the middle of September? Clearly, you're trying to accelerate that process.
Yeah, that game yesterday is designed to play fast, and the guys on the side are all involved. And I said to them before the game, the only rule is the side guys, you have to make a play with under a second. You can't sit there and hold it and look, because that's not realistic. You don't get to do that in a game. And so it forces them to think before they get the puck, to be ready. I stopped it. I kind of got on them about playing faster, and all of a sudden the next shift they scored like 3 goals like this because the puck was moving faster. So it's breaking out of summer hockey habits. And then it's also breaking out of non-pro hockey habits where they can get away with things that they're not going to get away with here. We can't change it all right now, but we just want to chip away at it.
As far as recruitment goes, he had a lot of success in the market. Look at a guy that was a little different. Country league, he kind of had the same group when the AHL paid a lot of dues. What can that do?
Well, I think that's all different experiences coaching stuff. So when I look at hiring coaches, like I've coached a ton. I've coached 27, 28 years. I coached national programs, so I can share those experiences with our players about what got guys to the highest levels, what habits, what traits, what things they put into their game. But I didn't play. And Pex and Webby, now Pacer and Vinny, they have these playing experiences that I can't share with the players, right? And I'm not going to pretend I did. So Vinny has lived a life coming over from Europe, not knowing the language, grinding through the American Hockey League, earning 1,100 games in the NHL after 3.5 years in the American League. Those are experiences that he can share through the ups and downs with Kulik, but also with all of our young forwards, and especially the young European forwards. It's hard to leave home and come over to a new country and different culture and different language, different style of hockey, and then be stuck in the American League in their mind, right? Stuck, and having to grind their way out. And he's just his career is a great role model for what we want our players to do with the adversity that they'll hit.
Seth, if I may ask you a question on the opposing player, I believe you had Sean Farrell with the US.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you about your memories of Sean as a 17-18 player and when he's
Well, it's really fun to see what he's become. Sean Farrell was on a team that was so loaded that he was a little bit further down the lineup because it was Hughes and Zegras and all these guys, Caulfield, Turcotte. But his intelligence and his competitiveness as a player was always off the charts high. And good players always loved playing with him. When the lines would get jumbled around in those 2 years, guys like Hughes and Zegras and players of that caliber loved to have Phil on their line because he compete to get the puck back and he's smart enough to play with elite players. So to see what he's then become in college, one of the best players in college hockey, and now earning a contract and being in pro, playing in NHL games last year, it's great because in a lot of birth years, he would have been in our country at the NCDP, he would have been a first, second line player. And with that birth year, he was a little down at times, but now he's getting to show his special attributes, which is awesome because he's a great young man.
You mentioned the birth year also. He's a late birth. Do you feel that might have affected him as a younger guy?
Yeah, late births can it can play a big impact at that age, right? 9 months at that age does dictate a lot. So, and so that, and again, that other than the 1997 birth year, that's one of the best birth years that our country's ever had in terms of elite players, right? So, but what that does is it forces a guy like Sean to try to catch them, and every day to show up and try to close the gap between him and Hughes and Zegras. And to me, that environment is what pushes players to become great.
Tyson had a very notable rookie year for you guys. Just talk about the difference. What's the difference in Tyson as a basketball player?
He just looks more confident, more sure, more assertive. He's not a loud person. He doesn't. He lets his actions speak more than his words. But I hear him on the ice more right now. So I think what he didn't even know if he was going to play pro hockey last year, right? It was late in the summer that he actually signed and decided that he was going to play in the American League versus going back to juniors. So all of that, and then being uncertain if he's ready for that, and all of those things play into it. And now he knows. Now he had a really good year in the American Hockey League. He got better and better as season went on. He played huge, valuable minutes for us in a playoff run. One of our most trusted defensive players and penalty killers and physical presences. And now, so the shoulders are a little higher because he's earned that. And he knows what he did. And now he just wants to build upon it.